All right, time to take a look at the Godox Lux Senior. Okay, so it does come with a cleaning cloth. And then this is the main unit. So on the back we got all our settings, and this can look a little bit intimidating, but you really don't have to worry too much about it. The main thing you have to worry about is this ring on the outside. So you can see how that arrow points down to the 1/8. So that is going to be the power that this flash is going to operate in. All the rest of this is just a reference for you to help to decide what type of power you actually want to run this at. So you got your meters, so this is how far away from the subject you are. Then you've got your ISO on the side. So if you're running an ISO of 200 and you're 2 meters away, at an f4 you run it at 1/4 power. If you want to run it at an f2.8, you run it at 1/8 power. So that is how you use this little dial. So this is really just a reference for you, but after you use it for a while, you're probably just going to end up finding settings that you like the most, and you're going to use it there anyway. Now that is if we put it in manual. If we put it in auto, then it's going to use the camera to determine the flash power. Then we have our slave flash options. If you have your camera set to do a single flash, you set this to S1, and then this will flash while your camera flashes. If your camera is using TTL, so it would have a pre-flash, then you use S2. So S1 for a flash, S2 for a pre-flash. And then if you want to use this as a primary flash, you just turn that off. So on the side, we've got a USB-C port because this one actually has an internal battery. So that's very nice. You don't have to worry about using the battery on your camera to power this. So we can use that to charge it. And then this is for connecting directly to an old school camera. So if you have a really old camera that has a wire connection going to the flash, this is what you use. But mine has a hot shoe. So it's just going to use this pin right here. As soon as you put that in the hot shoe and lock it down with this wheel, which actually feels very nice, the signal will be sent to the flash with that pin. There's a very cool leather look to it. I really like the overall style of this. And then to open it, we just kind of pull up, and then there is the main flash. So this is the bulb that's going to create the flash. If you want to eject it, I love that. Now, if you don't know what that is, old school flashes, like this is something that is designed for a very old camera. So you're going to normally have a reflector dish like this. I do like how that pops out. But in very old school flashes, the bulb would actually be a one-use bulb. So you would take the picture, it would blow the bulb, right? Then you would eject the bulb, and you would put a new bulb in. So this kind of mimics that old school function, even though this is not a single-use bulb. So if you really want to get that full effect, you can use that. It's kind of weird that they put a warning sticker right on the reflector. So I can't say we can tear this sticker off, but the main thing it's saying is that we unfold it using the direction of the arrow. So fortunately I did that. There we go. Okay, so yeah. So this thing is just going to pack down into a nice little package. So this is my little grab point, and after I get that open, I can just open that up. Pow! That's kind of cool. So now we got it open, we can put it in manual and wait for that to turn green. So it's green, that means we can test it. All right. It's got a pretty quick recharge too. Now the recharge is going to vary depending on the power that you're using. Right? And not just because it has to charge up those capacitors on the inside. But if you got it on lower power, you can just fire that thing all day. Well, mostly all day. Okay, so let's see what else we got in here. We got really nice packaging, I like that. So we got our instruction manual, which is going to tell you everything that I already told you. And probably a few more things, so it'll be worth reading that. We have our remote wire for plugging it directly into those old school cameras. So we would plug this in here, and then plug this into the camera. And then we got our charging cable. So this is a fairly good looking cable. It's fairly thick, and it is USB-A to USB-C. So the main thing about this, the main selling point is just the look, because this looks like an old school flash. Like if you got an old camera, like one of those ones that was just boxy, even the ones that came in the leather case, boy, if you got one of those, you really got something, but the flash doesn't work anymore. You could pair this guy up with that, and you could actually get like, you know, what are you planning on doing about the crime in this city? Like I'm talking about an old camera. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, if you got an old camera and you want to get that thing running again and you want to get something that's going to kind of match it, this is going to be the flash that you want. If you got a new camera, you just want to make it look a little bit more retro, this is going to be the flash that you want. Like this is a very cool little flash. Now, as far as the light that comes out of this thing, we already know that if we mount it directly on our camera, the flash is going to be coming directly from the front, which can be good, can be bad. It really depends on the type of picture that you're going for. Most of the time, I find that I like having flashes come from the side, so I'm probably going to use this one primarily as a slave. But if you put it directly on the front of the camera, you're going to get a very cool, harsh, rough, old school look. So, you know, those old pictures where it was like, this will really just help to kind of highlight the subject. But it's going to provide a fairly harsh light. So that is just something you want to keep in mind if you're going to be using this. If you're looking for like CSI style shots, and this is going to give you a perfect look for that. If you use this from the side, then that can make a very cool looking light. Or if you use it in conjunction with a diffuser, then you can get a very cool looking effect with that as well. But I think the main selling point to this thing is going to be just that. Like, this is a very cool, old school, retro style flash.